Harland, the big ball dude behind him, he's been marked as like the next Brock Lesnar. And that was before he was even signed to a WWE.
I saw the photos of him before they shaved his head and all that sort of stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, this will be interesting. But we'll see.
Oh yeah, like I think like I've seen he's only had like a couple of matches, and the way that they worked his matches were perfect because he's not come from it. I think he got signed less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And like his matches are just him squashing guys and just, but that's the thing. His skill level. Do you really want to see him go in there and try and do you know what I mean? Like do something that's going to expose him. I think that the way his matches are planned out, he's not exposed at all.
And that's what I thought was really good. Like that was a criticism that I heard about the entire show, but like, it really exposed the people that can and can't work. And maybe it was just a good night. But there wasn't really much of that I could see on there. Like, everyone was like, more than capable of what they're doing based on the matches that they were given. I didn't see anyone, having any major screw ups or anything like that. So, and that's the kind of thing you do with a guy like that. If you got this big jacked up dude, like let him have those kind of matches, and then if they're doing non-televised matches, that's where he has his longer matches and starts letting it work rather than doing it on there.
Yeah, and I think that's and we'll get on to Sangha, who's with Grayson Waller later, because I think that they did that with Sangha a little bit. He had a match against Eli Drake, and they had Grayson on the outside of the match, but it was not a good match. And I mean, like Eli Drake can work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I think having Grayson on the outside as a distraction took away from it. But even then, it's like certain things when he's gotten involved, I've gone, ooh, like he looks big and impressive. He looks cool, but yeah,
I think that's it. But like, I think like that's what I was saying before. Like those kind of guys, like better there, like they're attractions, right? So like, you can't have a million of them. You can probably have a couple of them. And they always put them together for some reason as well. So you got two big dudes fighting. I get it, but like, you're better off keeping them apart. But yeah, they should be kept to a minimum amount of work, regardless. Even if they're the best wrestler, even if he turns out to be, if he's like Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair, because of the size, like you want to keep the short matches on TV until you actually build that big match and means something. And I think like having Grayson out there to play that role is good because then you can take away like while he is learning, you can distract away from it. But yeah, I can imagine it not being the greatest.
Yeah, like it was yeah. But even Eli Drake, you could see him in the ring when he was wrestling this Sangha guy. He was just like going, yeah, he can work. And like to me, like I think he really carried the match. But when you're that big, when you're wrestling someone that big, I think when you're trying to control it, like you could see he was like trying to move him in certain ways, and it was just like dead wood.
I've been there before. I've cried in my hands during a match, and that's bad when I'm the person carrying the match. But everyone's got to learn.
100%, man, 100%, dude.